Welcome, everyone. Congratulations on your admission to MICA. Welcome to our admitted student info session. And we're targeting students and families in India since we were not able to do a physical reception there this year. So we are glad to have you with us here today. I am going to introduce two of my colleagues who are with me here. And I will first pass it along to Alessandra.
Oh, welcome everyone. Congratulations. My name is Alessandra Torres. I work alongside Kenny and Yam Chu, who you'll meet. I have been part of MICA's admission team since 2006 now. It's been a long time. I'm also a MICA alum. I actually came to MICA from Puerto Rico. I grew up in Puerto Rico, so I can relate to what you're feeling getting ready to go to a new country, and I'm happy to share my experience doing that. Um, I thought I would be a painting major at MICA, but switched to sculpture during my sophomore year. Please know that you can change your mind if you want. Um, and then I went on to get my master's of fine arts in sculpture, and I'm a practicing artist. I'm also a mom, and I also live and work here in Baltimore. So I'll be here when you arrive on campus. You'll have some familiar faces. Um, but yeah, I'm so happy to be here today with you, and I'm going to pass the mic to Yam Chu.
Thank you, Alessandra. Hello, everyone. Congratulations. So excited that all of you are admitted, and we can't wait to welcome you to our amazing community. My name is Yam Chu Oh. I work alongside Kenny and Alessandra in international admissions for undergrad studies. I'm also a MICA alum. In fact, you'll find that a lot of us in the team actually went to MICA. We all love the institution. We all end up working for it. It's a very special school, I'll be really honest. I'm originally from Singapore, but I've lived in different parts of the world, in London, in Brunei, and then my sort of latest stop is actually Baltimore. That's where I went to MICA. And I thought I was going to be here for 2 years, and it's now 9 years. So there's something really charming about this city, and then I'll be happy to share with any one of you who's interested to find out more. Yeah, and I've moved around the world, so I understand what it's like and all the challenges of living away from home for the first time. So feel free to find time to chat with me if you like to ask me more. But any one of us on the team would be happy to sort of take you through and support you through to your journey to MICA. So welcome again. I'll hand it back to Kenny.
Great. Thanks, Yamchu and Alessandra. So I'm going to start with a presentation, and then afterwards, I am going to introduce our amazing, wonderful student panel of current students who are with us. So again, welcome everyone to the Maryland Institute College of Art. Congratulations on your admission. We are extremely excited at the prospect of you joining the MICA community this fall. Again, I'm Kenny Yee. I'm the Associate Director of International Admission. I am a proud MICA alum as well. And I've been working with the college for about 13 years. I've been living in Baltimore for 15 years. I have 3 young kids. I'm a painter, a graphic designer, but my biggest passion is working with young artists and helping them along this process. So I'm very excited to be here, talking about MICA and your options today. So at MICA, you'll be joining a talented group of creative and innovative artists. Each of you possess a unique superpower, and that superpower is your creativity. MICA is dedicated to developing that superpower. So MICA is more than an art school. It's a place where your creativity is celebrated, developed, and nurtured. And our alumni are a testament to this. So achieving remarkable success across various different industries. So for example, Jen Stark, whose cosmic artwork has been exhibited globally. Her piece pictured here on the right, Power of Being, is part of the Smithsonian American Art Museum's permanent collection. Jen has also launched a capsule collection of sneakers in summer of 2023, and her work has graced the covers of Cosmopolitan magazine. This is Chris Papa, who has served as Vice President of Animation for Nickelodeon. He has been nominated for 5 Emmy Awards for promotional work for various shows, including Dora the Explorer and SpongeBob SquarePants. MICA alum Jeremy Talbert has worked at Pixar for more than 15 years and recently as a character supervisor on animated films such as Elemental, which I absolutely love, Finding Dory, and Onward. This is N.D. Stevenson. N.D. created and illustrated Nimona, if you've read that. It is a National Book Award finalist for Young People's Literature and was developed into an Oscar-nominated film for Netflix. N.D. has also worked on the animated series She-Ra and the Princess of Power and has been the recipient of multiple Emmy and Eisner Awards. This is Amy Sherrill, who was in MICA's painting program. Her works are held in public collections globally, and she's painted the official portrait of First Lady Michelle Obama for the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery. This is Hilary Ament, who works as a graphic designer for film and TV. Hilary went through MICA's graphic design program. Hilary has worked on Disney's Jungle Cruise, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a Taylor Swift music video, which would make my daughter very excited, and the Oscar-winning film Oppenheimer. Jacoby Satterwhite's work has been included in the prestigious New York Whitney Biennial and has recently transformed the historic Great Hall of New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art with his piece, A Meta Prayer. And then lastly, this is Zach Richter, who is the creative director for Meta, who has designed and creative directed the first of its kind VR fitness app, Supernatural, which was awarded Best App or Game of 2020 by Fast Company. So all of these diverse and successful careers all started at MICA. And we know that developing your inner power requires taking a complete approach. MICA fosters growth both in your academic and studio courses, developing you as a complete person where we will support you both personally and professionally. And we do this by providing you with an environment that is safe, inclusive, creative, and comfortable. And MICA gives you the room to explore who you are and who you want to be. And at MICA, no matter who you are, you'll find your community through a collaborative and creative environment. We have over 46 different clubs and organizations, which is a great way to socialize and meet people. And these clubs and organizations range from identity clubs like the Asian Student Alliance to hobby groups like the MICA Start Gaming Club and activist groups. And these clubs are not just for exploration, they are meant to build a fun, supportive community. You can see this in action through all the different vibrant events that we have on MICA's campus, like the fashion show, Halloween celebrations, and other student-run happenings throughout the year. So for example, the annual fashion show. Built nearly for 3 decades now, this annual benefit show features practical and outrageous creations by students in a wide array of majors, identities, and ethnicities. All proceeds of the show support diversity programming and scholarly initiatives for our MICA students. MICA's Halloween party. If you love Halloween, you will be in good company. We host the Halloween party, which is hosted by the Center for Student Engagement. It is a lasting tradition which features dancing, games, movies, food, and the annual costume contest. And then there's student organizations that host a range of events for the entire community, from hand lettering workshops with the Illustration Club to day trips with the Outdoor Club. There are co-curricular opportunities for everyone. And at MICA, discovering who you want to be comes from our nationally recognized art and design education, and by making connections on campus, in Baltimore, and around the world. In the first year experience, you'll engage in foundational courses such as drawing, 2D and 3D design, new media, while working conceptually and collaboratively. You'll participate in studio electives and forum discussions that foster dialogue and creative problem solving. And students don't officially declare their major until the spring semester of their first year. So we give you that time and space to really explore and have different experiences. So when you do officially choose your major, you can make a really good informed decision. The Make Cool Stuff Lab and courses in ecosystem, sustainability and justice, and in social design will help equip you to make a meaningful impact through your art. Our alumni are proof of this diverse skills and critical thinking that you will develop here at MICA. For example, Alex Bogdanovich founded AeroThreads, an SBA certified hub zone and woman-owned small business that specializes in multi-layer insulation blanket products for the aerospace industry. And then there's Winston Fraser, who is a digital manufacturing service provider that offers 3D printing, computer-aided design, and optimization for additive manufacturing. And his company, Dene Prosthetics, uses 3D printing prosthetic covers for amputees, where his work was featured in the Smithsonian Institution show Futures. This is Herschel Rubin, who is creating products to help neurodivergent people regulate their sensory overload in a way that does not stigmatize them. And then this is Shang-Tong Li, who is now a fellow at the Urban Ocean Lab, a think tank that is focused on cultivating rigorous, creative, equitable, and practical climate policy for coastal cities. So these are some of the really exciting MICA alum who have gone on to do some amazing work around the world. And as an anchor institution in Baltimore, the city is an integral part of the MICA experience. Baltimore is not just a backdrop, it's a thriving canvas of creativity and opportunity. Ranked number 14 in the New York Times list of places to visit in 2024, it offers a wealth of cultural experiences from museums and galleries to outdoor adventures that are just within 20 minutes of the city. So I live right in the heart of Baltimore City, but I love going for hikes along the water and just getting out of the city sometimes to be with nature. And to fully explore your potential, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, and feeling healthy is extremely important to your success. And to help do this, MICA provides apartment-style living. We offer top-notch food options and a comprehensive health and wellness services. At MICA, our residencies are not your typical dorms. Apartments on campus occupy 3 to 4 students who share a living room, a full-size kitchen with oven, stove, microwave, and your own private bathroom and shower. And to help students stay safe and secure, our security guards are stationed at campus safety desks at all residence halls. Our campus safety also offers 24-hour dispatch, 24-hour transportation assistance, and up-to-date correspondence via MICA alert messaging, and more. Food at MICA is really important, especially if you like to eat like I do. You can grab a breakfast sandwich and a latte at Cafe Doris, a salad and the daily special at the Meyerhoff Dining Hall, which is buffet style, or fries and a late night dinner at Glace Grill. Our MICA chefs accommodate any and all dietary restrictions and focus on hyper-local buying practices whenever possible. And Baltimore is a great city for foodies. It was named the second best city in the US to eat local food by Lawn Starter. You can also explore a variety of different international dishes in different Baltimore neighborhoods like Little Italy, Greektown, Koreatown, and Spanish Town. And there are MICA shopping shuttles that will take you to H Mart, which is a popular Asian grocery store. And then MICA's Health Center includes primary care, reproductive and sexual health services, women's health, gender-affirming care services, and mental health services. The fitness center hosts a variety of cardio and weight machines featuring treadmills, ellipticals, bikes, free weights, and a strength circuit. So we have plenty of physical activity that students can stay in shape. And when you feel safe, inclusive, creative, and comfortable in your environment, you're feeling empowered to explore and forge a purposeful life and career in a diverse and changing world. MICA's Career Development Services empower students with a wide range of professional tools, programs, and guidance on all aspects of developing a creative career in a range of fields. So we have counselors from the Joseph Meyerhoff Center for Career and Development that are dedicated to helping students identify their strengths and interests, to help you build your professional package to enter the workforce, continue studies in graduate school if you're looking for an MFA, connect with alumni and employers to find the perfect job or internship, and practice financial wellness and so much more. And after you graduate, you will have lifelong access to MICA's career development services and resources. So I'm a MICA alum. I can always come back and utilize their database and use their services to help with my future career options. So this is a great benefit for our MICA alum. Internships really do provide a valuable opportunity to network and gain valuable real-world experiences. Our Career Center can help you identify appropriate opportunities, provide financial support through the MICA Internship Fellowship, and earn up to 6 credits towards your graduation. So you can also follow internship experiences firsthand through MICA's internship blog, where submissions are sent in by MICA students and their internships that they've done. But our internship database lists more than 800 different internship sites. So this small sampling on screen is just a few of the places where students have interned at recently, and it shows a deep range of creative careers throughout the world. And 70% of MICA students have had at least one internship by the time they graduate. So again, we really do encourage students to have these wonderful experiences. If you're interested in being your own boss and having your own business one day, entrepreneurship and creative practice are intertwined for many students who are seeking their ideal pathway post-graduation. We have the wonderful Ratcliffe Center for Creative Entrepreneurship, which sponsors a number of different programs to support you, like the annual Upstart Venture Competition, where we award up to $100,000 in investment funding. Curricular programs like the Creative Entrepreneurship Studio Minor and the First Year Fellows will allow students to hone their creative, critical thinking, and business skills. And then there's the Baltimore Creatives Acceleration Network, catalyzed by MICA, which offers holistic business, marketing, legal, and financial training while working with partners in Baltimore and beyond. So choosing MICA means choosing a path where your artistic talents are nurtured and your personal growth is supported. It's not just about preparing for a career, it's about finding where you truly, truly belong. So we can't wait to see how you and your superpowers will evolve at MICA. Thank you for considering the Maryland Institute College of Art, where your journey in art and discovery awaits. So that is a little bit more about who we are, but now I want to share a little bit about next steps. So again, congratulations on being an admitted student, and now there are a couple of things to think about before you join the MICA community. So if you are ready to commit to MICA, the way to secure your spot for this incoming fall would be to submit your online declaration of intent and pay your tuition deposit. You can scan both of these QR codes that will take you directly to the online declaration of intent form, and then the site to submit your deposit. If you are ready to commit and you know that MICA is the right place for you, we are offering an exciting opportunity where if you submit your declaration of intent and deposit by April 1st, you will receive a $500 MICA visa grant. So this is a wonderful opportunity where the visa grant can help cover some of your visa fees. So when you think about your SEVIS fees and you think about the fees to your F1 application, this grant will help cover most of those fees for you. So April 1st is the deadline to qualify for this, but it is important to note that the priority decision deadline, the universal deadline for you to submit your deposit and declaration of intent, is May 1st. So May 1st is the decision deadline. April 1st would be the early opportunity if you're interested in the visa grant. So two distinctions there. The other thing is to check your email often. It's really important. So the main way that we are communicating with students is sending emails. So important information about next steps, action steps that are required, ways to connect with other MICA students, completing your online housing application, which is now live, registration for classes, and scheduling meetings with our first year experience academic advisors, how to activate your MICA account and email. That will all be shared with you via email with different links from different departments. So check your email frequently. It's important to note that these communications will be sent to the email address in which you applied. So if one of your emails you don't use anymore, or if it's a school email that's about to be disabled, if you're currently using a different email, please let us know so we can update your record. So again, these emails are going to the email address that you wrote in your application. These are some important dates to keep in mind. So April 1st, again, is that early deposit date for the visa grant. May 1st is the decision deadline. June 1st is the visa documents due date. I will talk about visas in the next slide. August 21st is your move-in day. That is also the first day of orientation. So that's a very exciting day. So we will be on campus, myself, Alessandra, Yamchu, ready to welcome you. We'll also have sneakers on who can help carry boxes and walk upstairs with you. But that's always one of my favorite days of the year is orientation and move-in day. And then your first day of classes will be August 26th. So orientation will go from that Wednesday through the weekend. So these are some important dates to keep in mind. Again, you will be sent emails and notifications, things like that to help remind you. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the visa process. Most students come to MICA under an F1 visa. So before I go through the documents that you would need to submit, here is a MICA student-made animation about the visa process. So these are some of the different materials that you would need to submit. They vary from if you're a first-time visa holder applying for your F1 for the first time, or if you are a current F1 visa holder who has been studying in the US already. So these are some of the different documents that you would need to submit. So the first form is the immigration form. This form just lets us know what visa you plan on studying under. It's pretty straightforward, but it lets us know your intention of what visa you will be applying for. The certificate of finance form. This is a form that you fill out that shows who is sponsoring your education. So if it's coming from a guardian, a parent, a sponsor, it also is where you can include the MICA scholarship awards that you were awarded or any other outside funding. The bank statement would be the bank statement of the account of whoever is sponsoring your education. So say it's your mom that is sponsoring your education or your father, then the bank statement would need to show the account of your mom or your dad. And then a copy of your passport. So it is just these 4 different documents: the immigration form, certificate of finances, the bank statement, and the passport copy. Please send these documents in by June 1st. June 1st is the deadline, but I would not wait until June 1st. Visa wait times can vary depending on the embassy location. There are a lot of students coming to the US to study. get ahead of that line. So if you know you want to attend MICA and you have all your visa documents, submit them as soon as possible. The sooner you get your I-20, the sooner you can start registering for your scheduling for your visa appointment, your interview. So again, I would not wait till June 1st. That is the deadline, but the sooner the better. You can email all of these as digital copies. You can either email them directly to me or you can upload them to your student portal. Nothing has to be, we don't collect we don't collect hard copies anymore. So everything is going to be emailed to you, including your I-20. When your I-20 is ready, we will email you a digital copy of your I-20 with an electronic signature. This will be valid and accepted for your interview. So again, everything can be emailed or uploaded directly to your student portal. If you have any questions, please let me know about that. And we also have the Office of International Education, which is also a great support for students in terms of anything related to visa or immigration policy. You can follow us on social media. So this is a great way to see what is happening day in and day out on the MICA campus with the MICA community, see what current students are up to. So if you're on Facebook, X, TikTok, WeChat, Weibo, Instagram, stay connected with us. But then most importantly, keep in touch with us, your admission counselors. So you can always schedule a meeting with an international admission counselor. So you can have a one-on-one meeting on Zoom. So you can scan a QR code to access our calendar. There are 5 of us in the international admission team with us today. There's 3 of us. Joy and Jenny are located in China and Korea. So it's a little bit late for them, but you can contact any of us to schedule a time to talk. All right, so that takes us to the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching. And congratulations again. We hope to welcome you to the MICA campus and community this fall.
Of course, thank you for introducing me. I'm Shweta Balakrishnan. I am from Bangalore, India. I was originally came here 3 years ago, and I'm a junior. I'm a fibers and painting major, as well as experimental fashion and creative entrepreneurship minor. Fun fact about me is that I love to travel a lot. So I travel to different countries, different cities a lot. And it's really fun to like include that even in my artwork practices.
Thanks. How about let's go to Danvi.
Hi, my name is Dhanvi, and I am a sophomore, and I'm actually, going to switch my majors. So, but right now I'm general fine arts and humanistic studies double major, and I'm also doing minors in curatorial studies and sound art. Also, by how many painting classes I've taken, I'll just end up also doing a painting minor. But that's what I'm doing at MICA. And a fun fact about me. mm, I recently got an internship at the BMA, so that's interesting.
That is so exciting. Yeah, when I heard that, I was so excited for you, Donvi. And Donvi is a perfect example that students can change their majors. Sometimes, their plans change so that there's that flexibility. Thanks, Donvi. Love the frame. I feel like I'm watching you on TV. Krish.
Hi everyone, I'm Krish. I'm from Chennai, India.
They're cancelled.
And
They're there already. They're just giving impression to you.
Sorry, Krish, go ahead.
no worries. Hi everyone, I'm Krish. I'm from Chennai, India. I'm double majoring in ESJ and illustration. ESJ is Ecosystem Sustainability and Justice. I'm a sophomore, second semester sophomore. Fun fact about me is there's a tall stack of comics to my right that I'm fighting myself not to flip through right now.
So thanks, Krish. Love that you're doing ESJ. I'm so excited about that program. And then Anahita.
Hi, I'm Anahita. I'm from Mumbai. I'm double majoring in graphic design and humanistic studies, and I'm minoring in art history, curatorial studies, global and intercultural exchange, culture and politics, book arts, and interactive arts. That's a lot, and that is also possible at MICA. So, fun fact: I'm doing 6 minors. But I feel like another fun fact for me would be that MICA, I found out through a student panel just like this. So my initial interaction with MICA was in a panel they had done with Rizdi and Parsons. So that's where I found out about MICA, and I found out that they had a great graphic design program, and that's why I'm here now.
No, thank you, Anita. And that's a great segue into that first question that I have for you all. The first question is, what, and anyone can answer these. What other colleges did you apply to, and why did you choose MICA? So, like, what are some of the things you were thinking about during your decision process?
I feel like for me, I was like I applied to like all the famous art schools like Parsons, RISD, SAIC, Carl Arts, and so many more. And I feel like what stood out for me was the fact that MICA is not like, even if you choose a major, it's not like focused and forced for you to take particular classes regarding that major. Like if you're taking fibers or if you're taking if you're doing painting majors, it's not like you have to take those classes. You can also explore and connect with like, for example, like I'm doing like some of my paintings are becoming like weavings now, and some of my weavings are also integrating into my paintings, and that's becoming like my go-to thesis for the next year. So those are some things like that's very interesting, and how MICA teaches you to like explore and combine those all those things that you're interested in, which is a great practice when you're getting out in the real world.
Thanks.
I can go next. Uh, I I think I was always just looking for a program to be very interdisciplinary, and I also wanted to continue doing sound. And I didn't find like a sound art program or any like a college which had like classes on sound. So that was like really captivating for me. And also like logistical things and like scholarships. So Micah was super generous with scholarships. So I feel like all of those things coming together was that made my decision.
Thanks,
I
Don.
can go next. I also, like Shweta, I applied to a lot of colleges in the country. And I feel like another thing that I started realizing around February, like after I had heard back from a lot of colleges, is now I had to start looking at what to eliminate in a sense. And I realized that I was more likely to be in the East Coast for reasons like, there's better public transportation in the area. If I was in Baltimore, that would mean it's easy access to Washington, D.C., to New York, Philadelphia. And in general, I feel like, again, like Dhanvi said, there was a lot of financial aid that MICA provided. And it being in the space where it's like not one of the major cities, it's still pretty small. You still have a very important art scene in Baltimore, but it's not something that's like something you can get lost in. It's more like something you can discover. It's like a first step, I feel. And a lot of classes that MICA offers, like I did a class this year called Exhibition Development Seminar, which is a collaboration between MICA and other colleges in the area with the museums in the area to curate a set of exhibitions. And that's a program and many other programs at MICA that are very unique and not necessarily offered. And I feel like that's also something that's because it is in Baltimore, it's a small city. So I feel like overall, a lot of things really worked out. There were very specific courses I wanted to get into, but also larger. Like I just like the idea of living in Baltimore better. So
And lastly, with me, I applied to about 12 to 15 art colleges, and I got into 10 of them. And when I had my list open, the reason that MICA stood out was just like the connections that I got through attending calls just like this. About 2 years ago, around this time, I was on a call just like this, trying to find out everything I could. And I think after connecting with somebody from the illustration department through Kenneth, I learned so much about the department, shot all my questions. It was like an hour and a half long call. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm definitely going to MICA, just because, not just because of the information I got and how that fit what I wanted to do at MICA, but also the willingness to sit with just a prospective student for that long and just talk about all these questions that I had, and I think that's very special. And it's something that runs through all of the MICA community, not just the illustration department.
Thanks, Krish. I can't believe that was 2 years ago. It seems just like yesterday, but it's been so fun to watch how your work has been evolving and developing. So that's really cool. I was going to say, I have another question for everyone. Everyone, please, this is open for you all to type in questions. You can even unmute yourself and ask a question if you'd like to ask a question, or you can type it in. Oh, hi, Sania. I just see that we have a question in the chat, so we'll go straight there. All right, so Sania wrote, I heard there is a global recession going on and international students are finding it difficult to secure jobs or internships. Is this true? And if yes, then how are you all planning to overcome this? So I'm gonna kind of talk a little bit about that. So it's always an evolving thing where students are asking like, how am I going to find jobs? How am I going to find internships? And the truth is, it's in our numbers. In our most recent SNAP survey, 96% of MICA students within 9 months were able to find jobs or go straight into a master's program right after graduating. These are self-reported numbers, but this includes students who are working part-time, full-time, freelancers who are working with clients, and this is related to their art education and their studies, something creative. So it's not capturing those who are working at Starbucks or something like that. So 96% is a really proud number that we're really, really proud of. And knowing that, there are changes in the global economy in terms of how that affects people's kind of conversion rate and currency. That's why MICA is really cognizant of supporting families with everything that we can do in terms of providing scholarships. I do think MICA is one of the most competitive in terms of recognizing the need for international families to have that financial support. So whether it be through scholarships, whether it be through need, kind of grants, whether it be through work study or having on-campus jobs, we do look to make sure that we are supporting students as much as we can. Students who are on campus can meet with financial aid officers and counselors. There's financial hardship grants that they can inquire about. And then there's additional scholarships that students can apply for every single year they're at MICA. So everyone comes in with a 4-year scholarship package. But every year you can apply for competitive scholarships for returning students in a wide range of areas. And if you're awarded those additional scholarships, they get stacked on and added to your scholarship package. So in addition to all of your awards that you have received, there are opportunities, because we do understand that this is something that is unpredictable, and we don't know how a global recession or how the economy will continue. So we are always looking to work with families when we can.
I'd love to open up Sania's question to the student panel. For students who have done an internship, would you want to share how you found that internship, and if you have other internships in mind that you'd like to do, or if you want to talk about that process at all, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I can kind of try and contributing to this question a little bit. So I completely agree that it can be really hard to find an internship, especially as an international student. But I would also say one thing really great about Baltimore is that the local community and the local arts community is really, it's really personal, and it's really like ever growing. So the best part about not being in like cities like New York or DC, which are like super like hustling, like it's nice to be in a city where you can actually develop from the ground up. and be around people who care about forming a community more than just, getting a job or like it being very like industry oriented rather than it's more of like very community oriented. So I would say when you're here, look for local opportunities too. A lot of people in at MICA are like willing, like people working on their theses can also ask you to help them on stuff. Like I know Anahita is doing something on those lines, which is really amazing. And I also was like always thinking about like, oh my God, I want an internship at the Met, but I looked at what was like around me, and BMA is like so amazing, and they always keep their internships posted on their website. So always just like have a little list of places that you're interested in, and just keep like looking at their websites. That's what I did. I was constantly looking at BMA's website, and that's how I figured out that they had posted about internships. But I would definitely say that start off where you feel comfortable and you feel like a sense of community instead of, just, I understand wanting to like achieve certain things, but it's like it's these things that will make you like little steps do that bigger thing. So I feel like Baltimore is really amazing to do that.
Yeah, if I could also add to
Mhm.
that, I feel like, yes, it's a very genuine concern. I'm talking to a lot of people who are like even a couple of years older than me, and they were like, when I applied to like 100 internships last year, I heard back from a lot more than I'm hearing back from this year. And again, so it's a very important issue that I'm glad you brought up. But I also feel like since MICA is a developed college and we have already set up a lot of networks as a college with other artists in the area. So if you talk to the career development office, for example, we have a very good relationship with the museums locally, and we have a very good relationship with specific artist studios that take residencies. And since that relationship is already established between MICA as an institution and those other institutions, it's much easier for MICA students if we apply for an internship through MICA to be able to reach those places. And yes, there's a lot of like, so the class I'm taking right now, the exhibition development seminar, it has given me a much better idea of the museum network at MICA. So I know a lot of professionals by name, by face. I've had conversations with them. So I would also recommend that if there's a space like that that you would like to work in, try going to their office. Like just walk into the BMA one day, try and build a conversation with them to see, are you looking for someone to work for you? And if it turns out it's great, but like also MICA is a very good resource for that. The career development office is amazing. They also have student workers, they are great. And overall, it's a very comfortable place for you to talk about all your problems with.
Thank you so much, Anahita. I'm so thrilled that you're part of the panel today, by the way. And I wanted to add, in your quest for internships, like Anahita said, you're not alone. MICA has an amazing career development office, and you have access to the career development office, not just as a student at MICA, but for the rest of your life. And I think MICA is one of the only art colleges that offers lifetime access to career development. So they can help you continue to find opportunities even once you've graduated, but you're not alone in searching for an internship, and knowing that that's something that you want to do in your time at MICA is already a first step. That way, when you arrive on campus, you can actively be seeking out and listening and finding opportunities that you want to consider as an internship. So you're on the right track already.
And not only do you get that support from our amazing staff in the career development office, with employers that they bring in, and the different networking opportunities and the database, but you also get that from your faculty. So all our faculty are well connected in the industries, or they all have their own professional practice. And they're always bringing in people as well to do little workshops or talks, maybe even critiques, and you get opportunities through your faculty as well.
I just want to mention one last thing. The fact that even if you get an internship and like even if they don't pay you, which is one of the concerns. Like career development has this opportunity for summer internships or any internship that you do where you can apply for you have to like write and prompt like an essay with like 250 to 500 words, I believe, and then you get like $2,500 so that you could sponsor yourself with like paying the rent and all of that while doing the other internship.
And then the last thing about internships is not only are they great, real world work experiences, that they can develop into other opportunities as well. It's a great way to make a connection, make an impression. And many times students will be offered jobs. Under Armour is right here in Baltimore, and we have a lot of designers who are often do internships at Under Armour, and then they stay on and they hire them after graduation. Another recent success story is Isabel Tay from Singapore, who was an animation major, and she did an internship over the summer. So you could do internships during the semesters, or you could do them during your summer breaks. And Isabel did an internship at MICA Animation Studios in the West Coast over the summer. They were so impressed with her. Like, not only is she extremely talented, but she's really hardworking, professional. And they had a job offer waiting for her before she even graduated. So she knew as she was graduating at MICA, she was going to be working at MICA Animation Studios, and they were going to sponsor her work visa. And that was all through the amazing job she did during her internship. So internships is a great way to really get your foot in the door of an industry you want to work in. We have a question from Akshara. Hi, good to see you. How many students do we have as part of the animation program? And also, what kind of on-campus job options do we have? Does curriculum allow time for on-campus jobs? So I'll open that up to any of our panel.
I can go first. So it definitely does. I feel like it also really depends on how you schedule your classes. I currently have two on-campus jobs. I work at admissions as a student ambassador, and I'm also a RA. So you can also kind of take like if you're doing two jobs, you can try to do one job that's like more remote. You can do it more remotely, and one job where you have to be there in office. So you can also structure it like that. And yeah, we have like a lot of different kinds of jobs on campus. One is in exhibitions. You can help like exhibitions set up, take down exhibitions, do all that. We also have opportunities at the library. That's very chill. I want to do that. You just like put on music and all you do is stack books. Like I'm so jealous. That's the next thing I'm applying for. You can work at the library. You can also work at one of our dining halls. So there's a lot of things to do on campus. And yeah.
Yeah, and I would say there's so many different options depending on what kind of experiences you want to get out of it. We love having Donvi and the student ambassador as a student ambassador, not only because I get to see Donvi regularly, but it's a really great opportunity to really hone a lot of skills that you will utilize in the future. You learn to do a lot more public speaking, learning to conduct yourself professionally. You're giving tours, you're answering phones, you're working with a lot of different personalities and families and guests. All of that with future clients, it's unpredictable what clients might be like. So these are a lot of transferable skills. But whether you're interested in exhibitions or curation, curating or working at a gallery, like we have different jobs that kind of help you develop specific skills like working in exhibitions. One of the students that I wanted to be on this panel who he couldn't because he had class and he was working is Najiket, who is an amazing photographer, and he works downstairs in the photography department, working with equipment and checking out things. So no matter what you're interested in, we have different positions and not only through work study, but also, going to our human resources and looking up what are some on-campus job opportunities. Everyone who comes under an F1 visa can work on campus jobs.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, I feel like if you're really interested in doing an on-campus job, I would recommend having one day that's kind of like where you have some time to work between 10 to 4, because that's usually the time that most MICA offices are open. And in general, like that's a recommendation I'll have for anyone, because that's also how most things in my Baltimore are open, like the banks are open at that time. So to be safe, keep one of those days off where you have some time between 10 to 4. But there's a lot of jobs on campus that are shift based, or a lot of jobs that are like, okay, if I clock in at this time, then I can clock out whenever and I'm paid for that specific amount of time. Also understand that in your first semester it's going to be really tough for you to find an on-campus job, just because a lot of people like to get those jobs through recommendations or through actually talking to the boss and being like, I'm free to do a couple of shifts this week or whatever. And like some things also happen informally, and that's the reality. So don't beat yourself up if for the first semester at MICA you don't have an on-campus job. That's very normal. Very few people have jobs at that time, but you can use that time to try and figure out what the on-campus jobs are like, try and see what you actually like. Because again, why would you enter a job with no understanding of it and just make life harder for yourself? So
I'd like to advocate for doing a on-campus job that's as far away from your major as possible. I ended up working in the sculpture department, which is completely unrelated to illustration, and it just sort of happened when I was looking on the iLead list for jobs, and I just got a request from them. But just being in the sculpture studio, the metal shop, and the like meeting and seeing people work and just talking to the difference in um communities that I get to interact with is just like so rewarding. Like the amount of people you meet, the types of people you meet, from different sections of Baltimore, from different sections of the East Coast. It's just a really interesting experience to have. And also, it's just like there's such a variation in the amount of jobs. You can work at the MICA store, you can work at uh, the print studio, you can work. There's just a variety of things you can do at MICA depending on what you're looking for. Whether it's somewhere to just like do your homework and also do small tasks, or be on task and help out with the operations of the place you're working at.
Great. Thanks for these insights. And I wanted to go back to Danvi. You talked about you are an RA, and I know that is something that is super popular, and everyone asks how is that a possibility? Because when you are an RA, you have your housing covered. Do you want to talk a little bit about your application process? And one of the questions students sometimes ask, are you able to be an RA as a first year? Can you talk about when you started becoming an RA and what that process was like for you?
Yes, so end of freshman year, you kind of get to apply for being a RA because you can only do that starting your sophomore year. And Ahida can add on more if I forget because yeah, she's good with procedural things. But I know that we did like you apply and then you have two interview rounds. So one is with um like the people, the staff in Res Life, and then there's like a group interview. So those are the two things that you have to go through to be a RA, and it's all about like in those these are kind of like suggestions for the interviews, but all you have to do is be really nice and friendly because all they're looking for is people to build and maintain a community. So that's all you have to do. But as of for what the job benefits are, you get free meal plans and laundry and all of that is also free on-campus housing, um, and also something great to add on your resume. So, yeah. Anitha, if you want to add something.
yes. And also at the moment the applications for next year are over, so it's not common for freshmen to be in that position. The only exception I remember is someone who joined in the spring semester, and by the time fall started she was technically a freshman RA, but that's really not common. So usually it's like second year onwards, people tend to be RAs. It's not really an opening job you might have. But in my case, it was also the first job I had on campus.
Great. Thanks for that information. Really useful. I was wondering about that first year because I think I saw one of the first year. I'm like, how did she land that? But that made sense because she deferred and started in the spring. So that totally makes sense. Great. I have a question, and then if any other questions come in the chat. I always like to ask this because I always like to know about like the unexpected pleasant surprises. So can anyone share something that they didn't expect coming into MICA that surprised them, or something interesting or pleasant that surprised them during their time at MICA? Could be a class, could be an experience, could be a trip, could be anything. A friend that you met.
I have something. So I would say my sound art professor, he Eric Spangler, he is also the founder of Baltimore Boom Bap Society. That was like the coolest thing ever because they just like last year had their 100th session, and Lupe Fiasco was there performing live in front of us, in front of like such a small group, and he was like freestyling, and it was just like such an amazing experience. And there were like so many different kind of artists, tap dancers, um different kinds of musicians who just perform, like they come together and do like everything live, nothing is rehearsed. And it's just so inspirational as someone who's interested in sound to be able to go and see that. So that was like really a crazy moment for me.
That sounds awesome. Thanks, Danvi. That sounds really cool.
In the fiber department, there's recently the exhibition that's happening in BMA, which is the Elspeth Scott and Jolly Scott exhibition, and that's like very heart-touching exhibition. So there was Jolly Scott that came to our school and also gave us like a whole lecture on how she created her stuff, her artworks, and her how her mother influenced her artwork. And you could see in the BMA how her mother, Elizabeth Scott, was completely having the whole collection of her works, and then like her daughter having the next collection of works, which is very interesting to like have the personal connection. And being in MICA was really nice to be in one-on-one touch with her and learn more about her art practices.
I would say a surprise that I had coming onto campus was the amount of exhibitions that happen all through the year. I feel like not just exhibitions in general, but student exhibitions that exhibit like work from all sorts of practices. And I feel like it's a really good opportunity for students to come straight into school and try to establish themselves in the community around them. It's very open to submissions from all categories, and yeah, it's just really interesting.
I want to add one more thing. The benefit show as well, that happens. That was very exciting to look at different students, have like even from different majors, like painting majors or like illustration majors, have to like put up a fashion show, which is really cool.
And I also feel in general, like, they say that you as a student at MICA, it's going to be a very interdisciplinary thing for you. But what is more shocking to me was the amount of collaboration we have, because there could be this one specific class that is, in the sculpture department that I just happened to take. And most of the people around me are sculpture majors, so I just assumed that that would be a place where I specifically learn a skill. But it also ended up being a place where there was a lot of group projects, there was a lot of like actual discussion. And the best part about group projects at MICA, especially in even unrelated class like liberal arts, is that you have people's strengths established, and it is like another established fact that everyone is expected to have a different skill. And that means we aren't really pushing each other into boxes. there's a lot of like discussion, there's a lot of open discussion happening about, okay, so if we're making this random chart for an exercise for like a culture class, who's gonna write the title? It's something as simple as that, but it's also like a fun avenue to talk to other people, try and figure out like, what their art making practice is like. Or this year, I'm assisting someone with her senior thesis in art history, and the topic she has chosen is curating an exhibition for South Asian futurisms, and I'm submitting a work to that. So that's also something I'm working on. That's not something I would have worked on as a graphic design major. It's not really related to any of my classes, but it's an extracurricular thing that's also helping someone in her actual thesis. So there's a lot of room for collaboration. You just have to like look in the right places and try and build connections outside of your major.
Great, thank you. I always love asking this question because I think the student's always really helpful. What advice would you give a new incoming student?
I'd love to jump in if I could. This kind of piggybacks off of what the students have been saying already, but and this will happen naturally, but make as many friends as you can from all over the world while you're a student at MICA, because they will become your network after you graduate. You can continue to collaborate throughout your careers on different projects. That will really open up a lot of professional opportunities for you, as well as places to stay when you travel the world for your art career. And then I also wanted to add, learn as many different skills and processes as possible. I love, Krish, what you said, check out the different departments, take a random class in fiber or in sculpture or in printmaking, learn as many skills while they're available to you. MICA's campus is huge, but it's also really accessible. And you can take advantage of the amazing equipment that we have for all the different departments. So yeah, leave your comfort zone. I'll add one other thing. The student voice has a lot of power on campus to create change, to create new minors, to create new programs, to get new equipment, to invite artists and critics. So if there's someone that you want to visit MICA, or if you have feedback about a class or something, voice your concerns, voice your opinions and thoughts, because MICA really wants to hear them to create positive change on campus. So you have a lot of power as a student, which I don't know if students always realize, but I'll turn it over to the student panel.
Yeah, I'd like to start off by saying the one thing that I would like to pass on is that we all come to the to MICA wanting to do a lot of things because it's art school and it's branching out and it's fulfilling passions, right? And I would like to say that all those things are possible and there's ways to find ways to do what you want to do. It's not about what's possible, it's about what you're willing to do to make things possible. And I feel like, trying not to sound like a motivational speaker, but just saying that that's been my experience, talking to people and finding ways to just bring what you come to school with to life. It's possible.
I want to say that when you're coming to MICA, like the amount of resources that's here, you're gonna like once you graduate, you're gonna have um that mind block of like, what am I gonna do? I don't have these resources anymore. So like I feel like MICA, when you're like in it, like you come here, you should utilize that the most and like make the most out of it. The most like artworks and exhibitions, have like fashion shows, have everything and do everything you can with the amount of time you have, because you're not gonna get this for a long time.
I'll go. Oh, Anahita, you wanna go? Okay. I kind of want to say something a little bit opposite to what Shweta said. I would say don't overwork yourself. I know as international students, we really think that, like, we will do 3 jobs, we'll take 6 classes, we'll overcompensate. Oh my God, our parents are doing so much. I completely understand that. but take advantage of all the resources we have. We have the counseling center here, which is also a really nice resource. So don't feel like you're doing it all by yourself, and don't feel like you have to like do so much that you don't have downtime for yourself. Um, and also, I would say sometimes when you're coming from a completely different background, making friends, there can be a hesitation. You're like, oh, I don't know anything about this place. But honestly, keep keep that in your mind that you're coming from a place which has a lot of things to offer too. Don't approach it like you don't know a lot of things. Approach it in the manner you know a lot of things, but it's just a different perspective. You have a lot to offer when you're coming here. So don't get afraid of talking to people just because you think that you don't know things. You know a lot of different things. Yeah, just make friends from that perspective. And everyone would be like so interested to hear what you have to say if if you know that like there's something that you have to say. Um, yeah, no, I am, and I get you, Krish. Like I'm also sounding like an inspirational speaker, but you get what I'm saying.
Well, thank you, Donovan. You couldn't have said it any better. We value and love our international community in the different perspectives. You can have said it any better because you all have so much experience and value. Like, don't hold back because you are such amazing contributors to this community, and MICA is better for the diversity and our everyone's life experiences and what they're bringing. So yes, please, and also keep in mind making sure that you are taking the time to for yourself to take self-care, and you do have time that you are sleeping and getting rest and you're eating and you're taking care of what you need is extremely important. Because when people ask, do I have time for jobs, do I have time for multiple jobs, can you double major, there is the possibility of all of that, but is that the best thing for everyone? It does depend on the individual student, how well they can manage their time, how well they can manage stress, how much they procrastinate, or how efficient they are with their time and what they can get accomplished. So multiple jobs, double majors, it really does depend on who you are and what you're able to do, and how you can, comes down to time management and managing your stress levels and reaching out for help when you do need it. But it does vary from student to student, but do take the time to take care of yourself. That is the reason why when students come to MICA in the first year experience, you will only have classes 4 days a week. Everyone will have a day off during the week, and that will be able so they can catch up on work, catch up on sleep, catch up on time to socialize and be with others, because all of that is really important. But thank you, Donvi, for saying that.
And then one last thing I'd like to add, which is kind of going off what everyone said, is remember why you're here. And I realized that if it's like in the middle of the winter, I just can't deal with the season here. I'm going to be very honest, like that's the worst side of me you'll ever see. At that time, I kind of remind myself, okay, why am I like sitting on my bed right now? It's because I'm an international student. I came here to study. And the reason I'm here, the reason I have to focus on my studies is because another huge part of why I actually managed to come here was a financial aid. So break it down for yourself at some point. Remember what your priorities are, or don't distract yourself. And by distractions, I don't just mean the like basic distractions that everyone talks about, like going out to party and like leaving class in the middle. Like I also mean how many jobs are you doing, and are those jobs relevant to you? Like, are they adding anything to you apart from money? Because another thing you have to focus on is that if you're in an environment like MICA, a lot of the jobs you're working with are also creative, like what Chris is doing in the sculpture department. Do you have to be um working with an office for that, an office that you may or may not be connected to and that you feel is just like taking away time from you, taking away from your energy? So definitely, I would say like maybe mid-semester, have a check-in with yourself, think, are you doing the right thing for yourself at that moment? And if there is no other option, try and see how quick you can end it, basically. So if there's a job that you don't really like, maybe get that done with for this semester, and then the next semester you can look for another job. Or if you feel like your current class schedule isn't working, like you have too many classes stacked one after the other, then maybe next semester while scheduling your classes, even if there's a lot of classes that you would love to take, try and make a better decision just to see, what is allowing you to sleep more, what's allowing you to function better in the class. Because what's the point in taking like 6 amazing classes back to back that you're really interested in, when by the time you're at the fourth class, you really cannot function. So you need to put a lot of these things into perspective, talk to yourself. It sounds weird, but like talk to yourself mentally, check in with yourself, and don't let yourself be swept away by decisions you made at the start of the semester. Try and see what you can do towards the end of the semester and towards the rest of your time at MICA.
It's so funny because like all of this advice that we're giving is basically like, oh shit, I wish I would have listened to that. But like it's very reflective. But also one thing I would like to add is that when like you're taking, wait, just a second. Um, what was I gonna say? I completely slipped.
But just to add to that, you have academic advisors. So if you feel like your classes are too much, or you want to change a class, or you want to check in, there are so many resources on campus, whether it be counselors to talk with, whether it be instructors that you want some advisement, or the Office of International Education. There are so many people that you can talk with to get support and get your questions answered. So yeah, there's plenty here for you.
Oh, yeah, I also remembered what I was gonna say. I wanted to say that like if you come in as like a prospective, say, animation major or something, but you end up liking something else here, don't beat yourself about it. It's okay to like switch what you want to do. Don't be startled by, oh, like I don't want to do that anymore. This is like I think I want to do this, and that's okay. Like come to MICA with an open mind because there's so much to do here. Yeah, that's it.
And then going off of that, remember that for most degree options at MICA, you have around 5 or 6 studios that don't really have to do anything with your major. So even if you do an entire semester of studios that are like in 5 different directions, it's still okay. Like you can still get a degree in a major after doing that. If you're just completely unsure about what you want to do, branch out for like maybe the first semester of sophomore year. Just do whatever you feel is the best for you. Don't be like, oh my god, I signed up for being a graphic design major, but like I'm really interested in this culture class. Take it. Just take it. Don't think too much about it. If it becomes a problem towards the end of your career, always remember the department chairs at MICA are really helpful. And if they see that you're dedicated and that you really want, they'll help you tweak things around a bit. So, yeah.
That's such a great comment. Thank you for talking about the electives that are offered through the majors, because yes, no matter what major you choose, you can take classes outside of that major in other areas. So we encourage you to explore outside of your major. We want you to do that. And then, yeah, like Anahita said, stay in touch with your teachers because they can help you find a way to make sure that you take a class in every area that you're interested in. But yes, that's a wonderful suggestion. Have an open mind, explore as much as you can, not just in your major, but outside of that major as well. Thank you.
I want to thank our amazing student panelists. I'm not to get like all emotional, but like I am so proud of the work that you do. I'm so proud of how well you kind of grow as an artist, but also growth as just an individual. And I just really appreciate all the time that you put into our prospective students, because more than anything, it's so helpful for new incoming students and families and parents to learn and hear from your own experiences. And that's how we all learn, is when we hear what others go through. You realize you have the same questions, you go through the same things, or maybe you don't, and those are other things that you can can learn about. So, you know, you're all amazing, and I want to thank you for being here. Thank you all so much for attending. We hope to see you here in the fall. Seriously, I am ready to help you move boxes and carry them to your department. I will be there on orientation day. But congratulations. This is such an amazing community. As a MICA alum, that's why I work for the college. I had such an amazing experience, and I feel such a connection to the community and the school. And we hope you see that in the fall. So we hope to see you. Thank you all for being here. But
Congratulations again, everyone.